Jay here, Stretford, Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. I'm in the studio. You know what to do. It's live. Get involved in the chat and the comments. We're going to be talking about all things Manchester United, of course. We're going to be talking about the World Cup, some things going on there that obviously affect Man United, and also where would we be without some transfer rumours. We've got transfer rumours, some that aren't even World Cup related as well, which is always good to know, innit? Because you don't just want to be making transfers based on the World Cup. So make sure you are getting involved in all that. We want to hear from you guys, the Urmston Strangler, straight in the comments. Morning, guys. Morning to you too. You enjoying the World Cup? It's been a bit exciting, hasn't it? See the old games last night. Was it Germany and Costa Rica and Japan and Spain? There's some right results now. Japan beating Spain. They beat Spain with 17% possession as well, which is apparently it's a record. Jamie White in the chat says, morning, Jay. Congrats on your MA grad the other day. I got mine on the 13th. Well done, Jamie. Congratulations to you too, bro. Darth Plagueis, I've probably got that. Plagueis, I've probably got that completely wrong, says, Portal fan, and even I have to say that Felix would be special. I'll get into the Felix thing in a minute. First of all, I want to talk about Harry Maguire. Now, I'm not going to say I'm Harry Maguire's biggest fan. I think he's been decent since he come to United, especially those first couple of seasons. I think he had a poor season last season, like a lot of his teammates. And I think this season he's done okay in a United shirt. I'm not surprised he's no longer a starter, but I think he's done all right. The issue is obviously the price tag. We overpaid for him. I think that's, pretty much common knowledge down the feathers, that we overpaid for Harry Maguire. Not necessarily his fault, but we did. He was never an £80 million defender. Now, it's become sort of fashionable, hasn't it, over the last year or so, to hate on Maguire. Loads of people do it. Loads of people pick on him. Some United fans don't rate him, and that's okay. I'm not going to criticise you or, argue with you on that front. I understand if you're not his biggest fan. Lots of other fans don't like him. Even England fans don't like him. He was getting booed for England. Now, that's one thing I don't get. I'll be honest with you. And I'm going to get into the story in a minute, but just on that Harry Maguire front. And make sure you are hitting the like button. Hit the like button now if you watch him. On the Harry Maguire front, right? For England, he's been one of England's best defenders. Ever. Right? Now, you may scoff at that and go, Jay, what are you talking about? No, he's not. There's been so many defenders who are better than Harry Maguire. And there are defenders who are better than Harry Maguire. But in an England shirt, how many defenders have literally got to a World Cup semi-final and a Euros final, and also been in the team of the tournament, and also bang their penalty top bins in the final? Not many. And also pick player of the match awards up along the way. Harry Maguire's done all that. So in an England shirt, he's done well. He just has. I've been watching England since 1986. And he's been one of our best defenders. He's just in an England shirt. I say we. Some of you might not be England fans, but you get what I mean. So I don't get the hatred of him for England. I get the questioning of his performances for Manchester United. I understand that people say we overpaid for him, because I think we did. And I understand people saying he shouldn't start for Man United, because I don't think he should start for Man United. For me, our centre-back pairing is Lisandro Martinez and Rafael Varane. I think there's a case to be argued that even Victor Lindelof should be in before him. But this whole thing about criticising him or hating on him for England, booing him for England, I don't understand. If you saw it the other day, not against Wales as much, although I thought he did okay against Wales, I thought everyone did. Against, was it the USA? He's probably our best player. So it's just this weird thing, like everyone hates on Maguire. And now it seems like other countries are joining in. And we've had this thing this is so bizarre. This came up, I was sending this in a group chat, and I thought it was a wind-up, but it's not. It's about, Harry Maguire, the punchline, in Ghanaian Parliament. Now, this is this guy who's been in the Ghanaian Parliament. He's arguing the case for whatever. He's criticising one of the ministers in Ghana. He's, in their version of the House of Commons or whatever. And he's compared this minister who he's criticising to Harry Maguire. So, politician Isaac Odongu compared the country's vice president, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, to Maguire, say they both were inclined to score own goals. He says, there's a player in the United Kingdom in England called Maguire that is playing for Manchester United. Harry Maguire, he is a defender. He was tackling everybody and throwing his body everywhere like he was the best defender in the world. United went and bought him. He became the biggest threat at the centre of United's defence, tackling United players and giving assists to opponents. He didn't do any of that, did he? I get the guy's making a point. So he then goes, Mr. Speaker, when even the opponents failed to score, Maguire would score for them. You remember this, in this country, we also have an economic Maguire. The same economic Maguire was giving lectures at university on how to restore the value of the city. So he's comparing the vice president to Harry Maguire, and not in a favourable way. It's just bizarre, innit? Look, like how Harry Maguire somehow found himself the punchline of a joke in the Ghanaian parliament. And this chap, what's his name? Sorry, let me get it right. I don't want to... This chap, Isaac Odongo, isn't alone in criticising Harry Maguire, because we've also had Rafael van der Vaart. Now, you may remember him he had a bit of a purple patch at Spurs. I think he went to Spurs and he scored about 10 goals in his first 10 games, and then, I don't know, he scored many more after that. But he's been throwing shade at Harry Maguire. So it says here, this is in the Met show, it says, Rafael van der Vaart even, bizarrely took aim at United and England defender Harry Maguire after Germany crashed out the World Cup. So he was covering Germany's clash with Costa Rica on Dutch TV, and he decided to have a dig at Harry Maguire. So he said, Germany have a problem in defence. Nicholas Süle is not world class. He is the German Harry Maguire. Now, again, a bit weird, because if you're watching the World Cup, Harry Maguire's playing well. He's done well for England. Let's not forget, last time Harry Maguire, well, not last time, because he had a bit of a stinker last time, to be honest. But in the Euros, Harry Maguire got player of the match, star of the match, I think they call it, against Germany as well. So I know he had, like I said, he had a stinker in the other game, but it just seems a bit weird to single out Maguire, to go, oh, he's the German Harry Maguire. And I always have this thing, right? If United fans criticise a player, I understand it, I get it. I sit around this desk with fans, my friends and fans and stuff who will criticise certain United players. Some of them I'll disagree with, some of them I'll agree with. I understand that, and I think there's nothing wrong with criticising players as long as you don't get personal and nasty. But when other fans do, or opposition players, or pundits start having a dig at my players, I automatically want to defend him. I want to stick up for him. I'm not having it. And this thing with Maguire, even though I'm not his biggest fan, I automatically feel like I want to defend him and stick up for him. Because I think Mr. Odongo in the Ghanaian parliament, what you on about? Rafael van der Vaart, why are you digging out Harry Maguire? Do you know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? So yeah, let us know in the comments what you think. Does it bother you? 'Cause it annoys me a little bit, because I think, bored off. Do you know what I mean? The guy's through the last 16 of the World Cup. He's been playing well, and he's just become an easy target. There's nothing big and clever about having a dig at Harry Maguire. Mike Fisher, who's been a member of the first team for 22 months, evening from the Philippines, Jay. It was the evening over there. Loving the World Cup, but can't wait to see United back playing. Congrats on the master's degree. Thank you, my friend. Thanks for all the people who congratulated me as well. Patrick Cassidy says, spot on, Jay. I'll back any United player. Alex Belton says, Maguire has been England's best player so far, apart from Rashford. Yeah, I mean, Dan Second says, Maguire ain't bad. It's just he only plays well in teams that only play counter-attack football. I mean, if you want to have a criticism of him, that's fair enough. But when you're just digging him out needlessly, it's just weird and unnecessary. And yeah, I just hope Maguire doesn't take any notice of this, because I think sometimes he's a bit of a confidence player in Harry Maguire. And I think when he's had digs, he can be... what's this? Hang on a minute. This is revelatory. Yeah. Brew being delivered by my joint favourite Ipswich person in the office. Thank you, my friend, Mr. Skaman there. Got a nice Ten Hag mug there. Go and check out paddockmerch.com. We've got loads of merch there. Eric Ten Hag mugs. We've got Marcus Rashford t-shirts and hoodies. Got Lisandro Martinez gear. We've got Alejandro Garnacho stuff. We've got Ericsson stuff. We've got it all. So go and check out paddockmerch.com. And if you are a member of Stretford Paddock, you get extra content. You get a bit of a discount on the merch as well. So don't forget, extra content, a bit of a discount. Check out paddockmerch.com. And no matter what you're doing, like this video. Let's get to 200 likes. Come on, people. Hit that like button. You can do it. We're on, what are we on? 57 varieties. Jake Harvey says, Jay, I've asked before, I've asked again, when's the Phil Jones merch coming? Listen, this is how bad it is, though. I'll stick up for Phil Jones I remember going on, I think it was on Talking Balls, it was Radio Manchester, and they have a City fan and a United fan on there. Or a City presenter, and a United presenter. It's Gaz Drinkwater, he usually does it. I've done it myself, covering for him now and again. And the City presenter started throwing shade at Phil Jones, and I thought, hang on a minute, wait a minute. I'm not exactly Phil Jones' biggest fan, but let's not forget. Do you know what I mean? Phil Jones has won as many European trophies as your entire club in their history. So you just sit this one out, yeah? Leave him alone. So yeah, I'm always going to stick up. I think if we did Phil Jones merch, it'd just be picking on him, wouldn't it, really? So sorry, we're not going to do that. I know you want it, but we're just not going to go there. Should we talk about United transfer links? Because we've not had a transfer story for a little while. And apparently we're being linked with João Félix. Now, this isn't the first time this has happened. We've been linked with him a few times over the last sort of year or so. Do you remember? It was weird, wasn't it? Because in the summer, we were heavily linked with Adrien Rabiot. I think that was almost about to happen. Rich and Arnold have flown over to France, I think, to PSG to try and make it happen. Was it Juventus? Sorry. Was it Juventus? Anyway, he'd flown over anyway, wherever it was, to meet Rabiot's mum, I think he was meeting. He was going to meet her to try and get a deal over the line. So, went to meet her, didn't happen. We were linked with Rabiot. We were also linked with Arnautovic. And it was like, okay, Arnautovic and Rabiot, not the most exciting or, mouth-watering prospects for me personally. And then we didn't get them. We went and got Casemiro, and then we were linked with Felix for about 120 million. You think, hang on a minute, how have you gone from Arnautovic for about 20 million quid to João Félix for about 5 times that? Now, there's a story. This has come up again with Felix, and this is the sort of link with Jorge Mendes, I think it is, because he's got a relationship with United. I think he's Cristiano Ronaldo's agent, which you may think, well, that's not a very good relationship, but we've obviously dealt with Mendes many times in the past. You can see it there on the screen. Jorge Mendes has reportedly offered Atletico Madrid's João Félix United as a potential January replacement for Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, I think the figure being bandied about, I've seen this in a few papers, and, obviously you can see it there. I think I can read it here. 85 million, which it's a lot, but that doesn't surprise me, that, because I think with Felix, he cost Madrid a lot, didn't he? He was a massive transfer for them. I can't remember the exact figure. Was it something stupid? Like, it went up to about 100 million, 120 million, I think it was. I think they paid, so I'm just looking at it. They paid 30 million euros, and there was 96 million's worth of payments via instalments. So big money, but he's done all right there. He hasn't exactly set the world alight, so it wouldn't surprise me if they were willing to sort of take a little bit of a financial loss and just get the 85 million quid in for him. Would United pay it? Can they afford it? We can always afford it. We've always got money. I don't buy into this idea we haven't got any money, even if we spent big in the summer. We know the Glazers have got our money. It's ours, not theirs. He's 23 years old. Obviously, very talented player. We saw him against United. Even when he doesn't score, he causes you problems. Is he the answer? Is he the one that Manchester United are going to go for? And can he come in and replace Ronaldo? It's a weird one, isn't it? Because there's a part of me that feels like whoever comes in might not even start. If Martial stays fit, he might start. And are you going to spend 85 million quid on Felix? And is he going to come in and be your reserve player or your second, your sort of backup striker? I don't know. Let us know what you think. I want to see what everyone's saying here. Malachi 9 says, think he's a bit lightweight for the Prem. Daniel Farr says, they can buy in January because if they're selling, they're not spending their money. Paul Lucas here says, we need both Felix and Gakpo. C. Joe James John says, is Felix another Martial? What's that mean? I don't know what that means. I like Martial. He's just been injured a lot recently. I think Felix is obviously very talented. It's just 85 million. It's a lot of money. Gakpo, apparently, when we was covering this story the other day, was about 40, 50 million, which seemed a bit of a bargain for a player who's obviously tearing it up at PSV and having a good World Cup. Now, listen, I'm not too bothered about what players do in the World Cup. I think if you start buying players based on the World Cup form, you're in trouble. I was thinking the Euros in '96 when we bought Karol Poborski off the back of that, and it didn't quite work out. He still won a title though, but it's safe to say it wasn't exactly a great signing. Joe James John says, talented but fails to deliver consistently. Right, okay. Brian Aseka says, Gakpo all the way. Jake Harvey says, I think if Gakpo comes in, I think Ten Hag plays Rashid down the middle. He's played him there a few times, hasn't he? And to be fair, I don't really like Marcus Rashford down the middle. I prefer him on the left. But he's done all right when he's played down the middle under Ten Hag. He's done a lot better than he did under Ralph Rangnick. Remember, under Ralph Rangnick, we had that a few times where it was like Ronaldo and Rashford up top, and it just didn't work at all. Yeah, I think that could work. Gakpo on the left and Rashford down the middle, or even swap him round, maybe. It'll be interesting to see what happens because we are going to get heavily linked with a lot of strikers. The Gakpo thing seems to have a bit more sort of weight to it than this Felix one. This, obviously, the story says it itself, is his agent trying to sort of manoeuvre a deal. But you're not going to spend 85 million quid on a player unless the manager is dead set on him. So is Eric Ten Hag looking at João Félix and going, he's the type of player for me? Let me know what you think about him. Urmston Strangler says, Eric Ten Hag likes a target man. Yeah. Do you think this is going to happen? Because another side to this story as well is that Ronaldo, I think he could be going to Chelsea. Is that the story, Heath? Yeah? There's this is being reported in various different papers. We've got it there with the Mirror. I think the Express had it. Chelsea could be an option for Cristiano Ronaldo's next club. Now, the story on Ronaldo the other day was that he was going to go to, was it Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia? He was being sort of linked with a move there for something stupid like 170 million quid a year. But there's also this rumour that he could go to Chelsea. We know Todd Boehly wanted him, didn't he, in the summer? But apparently Thomas Tuchel was against it. And that might have been one of the reasons that Tuchel and Boehly fell out, because they never seemed to gel, them two, did they? It almost felt like Tuchel was on borrowed time as soon as Todd Boehly came in. And this is what I was saying the other day on the Paddock Live. I'm just a little bit worried. We're getting new owners, and I can't wait for that because I'm sick of the Glazers. 17 years, too late almost. But what I don't want is a new owner to come in and get rid of the manager. Because new owners could do. They could come in and go, right, I've got my own plans, my own idea who I want to manage this football club. Eric Ten Hag, for me, is the right manager. He's made some fantastic signings. He's getting the best out of players like Marcus Rashford, Luke Shaw, and Scott McTominay in particular. He's also bringing in youngsters in the right way, as we've seen with Alejandro Garnacho. Whatever metric you want to measure Eric Ten Hag by, it's working. And even the football. I know we've not been scoring loads of goals, but I think the football's been better as well. So I think you need to back this manager and get behind him, give him time. But you just don't know, do you? Do you know what I mean? That's my big concern, because new owners spending billions of pounds on Manchester United, they might come in and go, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to get a new manager in and we're going to spend loads of money. And then people might go, oh, well, new manager spending loads of money. Don't want to see Ten Hag go, but we're spending loads of money. No, back this manager. What's this? Overlapping Steve's stream. You're going to be fighting when he gets home. Talking to Stephen Howson, I didn't realise he'd just gone live, and I'll be having words with him. I've just been chatting to him, so we'll have a video with Stephen Howson out later. We're also getting the take from everyone over in Qatar, not everyone, a load of journalists and Steve and a few other people as well, on who United should buy based on the World Cup. Because I said earlier, I don't want to see us buy anyone based on the World Cup. But if we were to do that, who should we buy? Because there's been some players who've absolutely shone at this World Cup. One player who's shone, who we should put pen to paper, is Marcus Rashford. There was talk before the World Cup, wasn't there, about him signing a new deal. And I think he's not done himself any harm with his form so far. 3 goals. Fantastic to see him doing well. Up for the Golden Boot as well. Who should we sign? Who do you think we should sign from this World Cup, if anyone? Also, do you like Felix as a signing? Do you want to see Gakpo? And are you fed up with the stick that Harry Maguire's been getting? I'll get into some of the comments as well. Andy C says, do you think we should get Lukaku back? Joking. Did you see Lukaku last night? I don't want to hate on the guy, but come on. That was woeful finishing, wasn't it, for Belgium's game? I mean, they were basically knocked out because he couldn't finish his dinner. It was almost embarrassing to watch, to be honest with you. I'm just glad, I don't have to argue or defend Romelu Lukaku anymore. That's for the Belgians, and And Chelsea, well, he's not Chelsea, he's back out on loan, isn't it? That's for their fans to sort out. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there. Make sure you are subscribing to the channel. I want to see you guys subscribe. We want to get to 700,000 subscribers by the end of the season. We'll also be back later on. We'll have the brew. We've got a video with Stephen Howson. Mac is going to be here. We're going to have a McCullough with Uncensored as well. So subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of that. And on Sunday, we'll have another watch along for the England game. We've been doing England watch alongs. We'll get a load of us here and we'll watch the England game, whether you care about England or not. Come and join us. We'll just have a bit of a laugh in it. So I've been Jay. This has been the Paper Talk live from the studio. Thanks for watching.